Hello, and welcome to the Limit of Adhesion's USF 2000 League. We're into Season 3 already, can you believe it? Joining me in the commentary booth is Steve. How you doing, Steve?
It's great to be back, Mark. It's wonderful to be around Watkins Glenn. It'll be interesting. We've got some brand new drivers, brand new teams, old teams, returning drivers. It's going to be a fantastic season.
Indeed, and I think the question on everyone's lips has got to be, will someone finally manage to dethrone the Smurf himself, Ture, who's absolutely dominated the first two seasons of the USF 2000 League?
I think, Mark, we've actually got a chance of seeing that this season. We've got a fantastic anti-wizard society that have come together, and I think Alex Murphy's done some really shrewd recruiting in the off-season, and he's got Stephen Maxwell with him.
Indeed, and yeah, we saw Alex Murphy. His attendance was a bit spotty last season, just due to IRL commitments. He races go-karts. So yeah, unfortunately he couldn't take part in every single race, but he did put up a bit of a championship fight.
I was going to say, is that a new nickname for Mr. Murphy? Spotty Murphy?
Yeah, I think the other important thing to mention, Steve, is the fact that we now have Club 1500 and Top Split Racing.
We do.
So,
yeah, that'd be interesting to see how we get on with both splits.
Indeed. So, for those of you who are perhaps newer to the Limit of Adhesion, we have trialled this in our other series, where essentially everyone races on track at the same time, but we have a subdivision for racers who are around 1500 iRating or lower, and they are denoted by the little gold stripes next to their name, so you can see there Steve Angie, Ross Luckhurst and Philip Miles, all taking part in that Club 1500 Championship. They are on track with everyone else, they are scored in the same way as everyone else, but they have their own championship. So it is, of course, theoretically possible for someone in Club 1500 to win both championships, the overall and the Club 1500, but yeah, that's very rare, and to be honest, sort of goes against the spirit of Club 1500 a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what it is. We've also...
Yeah, sorry, Matt. Yeah, I think with the idea of Club 1500 is it's almost like a starter league. Guys that are just new to the series and new to iRacing itself, and sort of like getting better and climbing through the ranks. And it's designed to help them to improve and to learn as they're going. I'm in Club 1500 myself, and it's brilliant just to get on track and see these guys really, learn from them and compete at the same time.
Indeed.
So starting
see if we should look at the starting grid.
Yeah, my apologies. Alex Murphy take pole with Ture and Stephen Maxwell in third, Stephen Green, Mike Murphy on fifth, and we've got Gavin Kelly, Don Parker, Michael Messenger, Ben Childcraft, Chris White ended up in 10th. We've got Steve Angie in 11th, Ryan Suzuki 12th, Gareth Winslade 13th, and Ross Luckhurst 14th. Eric Pusey, Mark Zeff, Pavel Kuzmarek, Philip Miles, Slade Bees, Chris Forrester, and Jason Weaver bring up the rear in 21st. Nice to see Jason here again, not just for an oval track.
Indeed, I was going to say Jason is very well known over on the oval division. He used to race quite a bit on the roadside, but yeah, not seen him on track as much as we'd like. So yeah, definitely great to have Jason back on the grid, and great to see some new teams, some new colour schemes as well. I see a very fancy looking blue car there, rocking the cool camel logo.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it. The cool camels have obviously got two teams in it. One silver, and which is the Club 1500, and gold, which is Top Split.
And we have green flag, so lights out and away we go. We are racing at Watkins Glen once again. Alex Murphy takes the lead, the little lock up further back, as we see that Stephen Greening trying to go around the outside of Gavin Kelly. We've got some carnage at the back as several drivers go off. I think that was Pavel Kuzmarek I saw facing the wrong way, as we see Ture and Alex Murphy picking up where they left off last year. Ture stuck to the back end of Alex Murphy in the slipstream. Will he poke his nose out and have a go into that bus stop chicane there? We see Greening and Murphy going side by side. Sorry, that was Messenger and Murphy. And Murphy did go for a little spin, and that was Chris White as well, spanning sympathy. So let's have a replay of what happens. So that was Pavel Kuzmarek having a lock-up, spins into... didn't catch who that was. Chris White has a meatball. That means that he's got too much damage. He's got to come into the pits and get that car repaired. Gareth Winsley now all over the back of Chalcroft. They're 2, 3, 4 wide as they finish the first lap. Here we have Mark Zeff in the Cool Camel Gold with that wonderful SpongeBob helmet that just cracks me up every time I see it.
I think that
was a hectic first lap.
It was a typical first lap and first corner incident, to be honest, with everybody battling to try and get through there to make up places and what have you. It's just unfortunate that Pavel had a bit of a lock-up, and it looks like he made contact with the side of Chris White's car there and doing a bit of damage.
Indeed. Of course, all new liveries for this year, so I've forgotten what all the cars look like. So this might get a bit interesting, but that is Don Parker in the Stupid Aguri team. We did have a Stupid Aguri team a good few seasons ago, but then they went off the grid for a while, so good to see them back on the grid. Of course, the drivers in Stupid Aguri, we've got Don Parker and Gavin Kelly. They've not been off the grid. They've just been racing for different teams. They've been one of the many, many thousands of Wizards teams.
Yeah, it's nice to see less Wizards on the track now. So yeah, we'll see how they go with not having a group mentality.
Indeed. So here we have Gareth Winslade in 8th, just behind Kelly. He looks to the inside. Will he be late on the brakes down into turn 1? He's having a look. Kelly just tries to hang around the outside, and you know what? I think he's done that. We've got Chris White coming out of the pits. He's a lap down. In fact, he might be a couple of laps down after that first corner incident. Still, we've got Winslade and Kelly side by side through the S's, and we've got Malarin and Maxwell side by side as well. Both of these guys are champions. Sorry, no, that's Malarin and Greening. What's happened with Maxwell? Maxwell's up into 2nd.
He is,
so
yeah.
Something happened to Malarin that we didn't see. And of course, this is going to be a little bit interesting because we've got... Oh, that's what happened to Chris White on the first lap in the revised McLaren colour scheme.
Yeah, it's easily done in the bus stop there, just a slight over rotation and away you go.
So I thought Chris White was involved in that first corner incident with Kuzmarek, but obviously that was someone else.
Yeah, I do think it was Chris White, especially with getting a meatball as well.
Yes, but so I'm not sure who else was involved in that. But anyway, I was saying, Steve, that it's going to get quite interesting looking at the numbers and very confusing because we've got Maxwell, Malarin and Greening, all champions in the previous season. So we've got Maxwell, who is prototype champion, Malarin is USF champion, and Greening is open wheel champion, I think.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, all three of them are entitled to use the number 1, but it's always a slightly different number 1, as we see. Oh, that was Winslade spinning in the background, and something happened to Messenger as well. Messenger's dropped back. Oh, that's Parker having a spin. And is he going to collect Messenger? Yes, he is! That's Messenger heavily into the barrier. And Winslade off as well. That is unfortunate. So yeah, Michael Messenger has a meatball. So yeah, we've got Greening, Maxwell and Malarin, all with the number 1. And I can never remember quite who's got the number 1, who's got the 0-1, and who's got the 0-0-1. I think it's, looking at that, it's Greening with the 1, Malarin with the 0-1. I think Maxwell has 0-0-1. But
I think so, yeah.
Let's be honest, rule of thumb, if they've got a number 1 somewhere in their car number, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
As we see,
I think with these numbers,
Mark Zeff get past Angie.
My apologies. Sorry, Mike. I think with these numbers, with these 0s and 1s, I think Sheldon Cooper would have a field day for Big Bang Theory, wouldn't he? Yeah, 1-0-1-0-0-1.
I think, tell you what, maybe we can get them to organise themselves in such a way that it spells out a message in Morse code.
Definitely.
Right, so after all that, we have Eric Piercy here in 8th. He's got quite a big gap now to Mark Zeff, who's 9th. I was just about to say that Ross Luckhurst was leading in the Club 1500, but he's had an issue and handed the baton over to Steve Angie. Yeah, Steve Angie, of course, very, very good in the dirt road side. I think he's some ridiculously high iRating. I've seen him on a few ovals as well, but yeah, nice to welcome him on into the USF League.
Yeah, like I say, it's definitely nice to see a lot more drivers that are coming over and joining the LOA and taking part. It's always nice to have new drivers and seeing what they can do against the old guard.
So here we have on board with Malarin for a second, trying to get past Greening. And I think Greening's going to live to fight another day and not risk going too wide through the bus stop. As we see, here we have Jason Weaver tucked up behind Ryan Tazewski. He's going to want to try and clear Ryan quite quickly if he can, because Steve Ange is leading Club 1500 and is starting to sort of pull away from Weaver. Now, of course, unlike previous seasons, having said that, Tazewski's just getting past Steve Angie, so there are the leading duo for Club 1500. Now, unlike in previous seasons, these guys do have incentives to fight one another, because they are rewarded championship points based on where they finish overall, not just in Club 1500. It used to be that if someone in Club 1500 finished, 10th or, for example, overall, but won Club 1500, they would still get points for winning Club 1500. And if someone was 11th, but in the top split, they would get points for 10th. That no longer applies. If you finish 10th, regardless of what split you're in, you get points for 10th.
Oh, another drive-through for Ture.
That has put a big spanner in the works for Ture Malarin, as we see someone else. That's Stephen Greening going for a spin at the bus stop. That bus stop has claimed so many victims today already. We're only 7 laps in.
I know, you can see it's a new season because it's, everybody's throwing as much, caution to the wind to a certain extent and trying to get those all-important first points on the board.
And here we've got Slade Bees and Philip Miles fighting. In fact, no, sorry, I beg your pardon. That's Philip Miles and Slade Bees. Philip Miles has just got a penalty for 2 minutes and points. Lets Don Parker through. And that is unfortunate. Philip Miles will have to come into the pits to serve a drive-through penalty.
It's going to be interesting to see now whether Ture Malarin, after this drive-through he's got, whether he's going to be able to recover to a place where he can look at maybe the reverse grid.
Indeed. Yeah, he's about 10 seconds away from that reverse grid pole at the moment. Sorry, 10 seconds ahead of that reverse grid pole. So we'll have to see how far behind, how much time he loses, as we see a replay of Stephen Green just hitting that curb wrong at the bus stop. And unfortunately it just launches the car off into the air. You see, this is Don Parker side by side with Slade Bees.
It looks like that Maxwell and Murphy have got the front of the race fairly much controlled at the moment. It's just a case of if Maxwell decides he's going to challenge Murphy for top spot.
Indeed, we saw Bees getting that corner all wrong and trying to straight line the chicane, as we see the two Anti-Wizard Society cars at the front with a 5-second lead, fighting it out on track. As we see now, that's Don Parker catching up to Eric Piussi. I think, is Parker a lap down in that? It was Gavin Kelly on Eric Piussi. That would be why, my mistake. And that's Chris Forrester trying to get involved in the fight and getting the bus stop slightly wrong, and that's going to allow Ben Chalcroft to get through. So that was unfortunate for Chris, getting that line slightly wrong. As we see, here are the two Wizards sorry, anti-wizards at the front. They will not like it if I call them wizards.
Definitely not. No, there's a lot of time and effort gone into that livery, you know, making it so crisp and easy to read.
Indeed. As we see, that was Maxwell getting a little bit sideways. Got too much onto that curb.
Yeah, I've done that myself before. You get a little bit of ride on that curb, it can send you all sorts of ways of wrong.
As we see Kuzmarek chasing down Slade Bees. Kuzmarek after that first lap, that first corner incident, trying to regain some ground. So here we have the battle resumes. We've got Pusey in third, Kelly in fourth, close behind, and that is Charlecroft in fifth, taking a lot of curb through the bus stop. Steve Angie in 10th. And tell you what, Steve, having a look at that livery of Steve Angie, I think it was Angie that got involved, that got hit by Kuzmarek on the first lap. So he's done very well to survive that and climb all the way up to 10th overall and first in the Club 1500.
He has, yeah, very good. Yeah, yes, very good clean race there for him.
Here, this is Bees versus Kuzmarek once again. Kuzmarek gets through, Bees takes the grass. And the battle remains then with 3 laps to go. Murphy at the front, followed very closely by Maxwell. So there we go. Malarin has now taken his drive-through penalty. In all that, we didn't see it on screen, but I can assure you it's happened. He's dropped just behind Steve Angie. So remember, it's the top 8 reverse grid, so Ture's about 5 seconds off that with 3 laps to go. It's not outside the realms of possibility. In fact, that was Malarin, I think, in the background of that shot. So here is Charlecroft in 6th, Forrester in 5th, Kelly in 4th, and Pusey in 3rd. This little train here. Messenger in the back of the shot is a lap down. He's in 19th after the bus stop claimed another victim. Chris Forrester, he's doing well to up in 5th. It's been a good showing by him.
Yeah, it has. I mean, Chris has really come on leaps and bounds, certainly since last season when he was with Chris White in the F4s and what have you. He's really put some strong performances together, and it's nice to see Chris again up there in the top 5.
Okay, so this is Steve Angie trying to get past Ryan Tazewski, and just there lurking in the background is Ture Malarin, who will be so desperate to try and fight back as close as he can to that reverse grid pole. The reverse grid pole at the moment is going to Mark Zeff for the Cool Camels, who is about 3 seconds ahead of this fight, as we see Ture Malarin forcing his way through on the inside. He forces Steve Angie out wide, and will have Ryan Tazewski locked firmly in the sights. You can see Mark Zeff was just going round the corner in that previous shot. Probably just a little bit too far away. Gap's opened up to about 4 seconds now as Ture's been fighting. So as they begin the final lap, I think Ture is going to have to settle for starting outside of that reverse grid. He looks like he's got one hand at least on 9th place. He just needs to try and wrestle it away from Ryan Tazewski as we see these two still fighting, and there we go, one hand on 9th place. Does it become 2 hands? I think it probably will do, as Malarin gets past Tazewski for 9th place. He will try and rein in Mark Zeff, but I think Zeff's too quick to allow Malarin to overcome a 3-second deficit in 1 lap. As we see, that was Angie getting all over that curve. As we see the 2 anti-Wizard Society cars cross the final turn. They get a 1-2. Murphy from Maxwell. Can Pusey hold on to get a podium? It looks like he might be able to. Parker gets a penalty for 2 minutes and points. Piercy withstands immense pressure to get a podium. Piercy from Kelly, from Forrester, Sharcroft and Greening. And reverse grid pole goes to that man there, SpongeBob himself, Mark Zeff.
What a fantastic race. Well done to Steve Angie for his maiden win in the USF. Brilliant. And obviously Alex Murphy in first, and Stephen Maxwell second, Eric Pusey third, Gavin Kelly fourth, Chris Forrester taking out fifth there, Ben Chalcroft, Stephen Greening, Mark Zeff in eighth, obviously with the reverse pole, Tom Malarin just missing out there, Ryan Suzuki, Steve Angie, Mike Murphy, Ross Luckhurst, Jason Weaver, Pavel Kuzmarek, Slade Bees, Don Parker with his penalty, dropping him right down there.
Yeah, thanks for that, Steve. Oh. And I was going to say, and now we can take a minute to breathe, but nope, we're straight back onto the grid for race 2. So Steve, why don't you take us through the starting grid?
Starting grid for race 2 is Mark Zeff, Stephen Greening, Ben Chalcroft and Chris Forrester, followed by Gavin Kelly, Eric Pusey, Stephen Maxwell and Alex Murphy, who goes from 1st to 8th. Tom Malarin is 9th, Ryan Suzuki, Steve Angie, Mike Murphy, Ross Luckhurst, Jason Weaver, and the rest, unfortunately, I didn't get to. So we are basically, as you finished, from 9th place down, we are as you finished and onto the grid.
Lovely, thanks for that, Steve. So yeah, as we wait for the cars to grid and begin their formation up, here we go. What a sight, SpongeBob in the USF.
Definitely, SpongeBob in a cool camel.
Yeah, and starting from pole position as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice now to see if Mark can lead away and keep that pole position and take it on from green flag to checkered. But it'll also be interesting to see how Maxwell and Murphy do as well. Obviously, they were head and shoulders everybody else time-wise in the first in clear air. So can they do it in a second?
Indeed, and Zeff's gone very early. He did not hang around. He put the hammer down. And Maxwell has already got a penalty for passing the yellow. That is a stop-go penalty. That is gonna absolutely ruin his race, unfortunately, as we see Eric Pusey going very wide, and Zeff looks like he's checked out a little bit up front. Got Stephen Green just behind him, followed very closely by Chris Forrester. And all the drama there.
That penalty is so unfortunate for Stephen, because obviously this early in the race it's going to drop him right the way back to the back of the pack. He's got to work his way all the way through. What, 23, 25 driving, whatever it is.
Indeed, and in all of that, Malarin's got ahead of Murphy, which could be crucial as those two were fighting for the title last year. So, yeah, Maxwell got a very good start. He's up to 4th. In fact, there he is in that Anti-Wizards car, in 4th. We will probably see him dive into the pits in a couple of... And nobody's choosing to serve it straight away, as we saw that was carnage at the back. I'm not sure who spun, but I did see a car facing the wrong way. Looks like Beast Miles.
Looks like Gareth's being clobbered, and he's the same as Jason. I'm just wondering whether Jason was the one that went round in the background.
Could well have been, yeah. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that. As we hear Weaver apologising, as we saw Alex Murphy getting shuffled out wide, and the gap has come right down at the front. I can see Chris Forrester only a 10th behind Zeff. So these two have sort of dropped Greening a little bit, so Forrester just tucked back in, and that was clattering over the curbs. There was Murphy.
Yeah, he was almost sideways as he went through, drifting around that corner.
Indeed. Steve Angie, after his maiden win in the Club 1500, he is currently leading, but right behind him is that man there, Ross Luckhurst. And no, Winslow's been given a
public service announcement.
Yeah, Winslow's been given a penalty again.
Triple monitor setup is currently missing the middle monitor.
And I
So we
didn't
could
hear
just
what
pull
Paddy
it
was
in,
saying.
but should we be telling
Someone's
you to
having a
lap two
technical
laps?
issue
He
and
won't.
lost their middle monitor.
Yeah, I think that was Stephen Greening who was driving with outside monitors and not the middle one. Oh, we have contact again.
Oh dear, that's Ross Luckhurst, and he has collected one of the risky racing. That is Luckhurst with a meatball for too much damage. And here is Forrester going for the lead on Zeph. That was Messenger who got caught up in that. And Chris Forrester with that lovely McLaren livery. And he's taken the lead. What a brilliant move.
Well done, nice pass. Yeah, worked that out really well.
So yeah, brilliant move for him. And Zeph will want to try not to lose any more positions, and will try not to lose position to Greening. He'll want to tuck back in, regroup, and try and get Forrester back. And here's a replay of that incident. Yeah, it was Weaver just getting too much on the curb, and that is unfortunate for... Yeah, Winslade couldn't do much about that, unfortunately, and he collected... Who was that? That is Philip Miles.
I think it was Philip Miles, yeah. Yeah, there was just nowhere. Once the slide had stopped, he just put Gareth straight in the middle of where Philip was trying to head.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but certainly nothing
so easy
malicious.
done. No, it's so easy done on cold tyres, especially that first lap. If it over rotates, you're literally just a passenger.
Indeed. So, what's happening here then? We've got Kelly and Malarin. Malarin's getting very wiggly. Will he keep it out of the barrier? It looks like he might have just done enough. So Zeph, in all that, got back ahead of Forrester, who now looks like he's going to lose another place to Greening, as Greening does have the inside. And yeah, Malarin looked like he kept it out of the wall, but did lose a place to Alex Murphy. And kept it ahead of Mike Murphy. Keep on having to forget that we do have multiple Murphys in this race, so I can't just call them Murphy.
That's it.
There is Kelly looking to the inside of Forrester.
Zeph's hit the front again. He's got past Stephen Greening.
Has indeed. So we now have a Malarin sandwich between the two Murphys. Malarin, of course, after having not a particularly good first race, will want to try and get back up to the front as soon as possible. Certainly ahead of Alex Murphy, if he can. Because he managed to do it in all the mayhem of the first lap, managed to get past Murphy, but will need to do it again if he wants to outscore his championship rival. Of course, I say championship rival, that's... Oh, as Gavin Kelly gets forced onto the grass there. Now, I say championship rival, it's only actually been one race so far. This is the second race of the first round, but going based off of what we saw last season, I think it's safe to say... Oh, and Murphy goes round! We'll have to get a replay of what's happened there, but...
I think there was a little bit of contact.
I'm not sure whether... Yeah, because I was going to say, it's quite rare to spin like that on your own through that corner. There we go, confirmation. Malarin and Murphy did make contact, and that is under review, so we will see what the stewards say.
We've seen that a few times where a nose has contacted the... it's like a crumple zone crash type place at the back.
Yeah.
It's got the little fog light, rain light type thing on it as well. If you touch that with the nose, it's quite easy just to overbalance the car in front, and it sends it straight round.
And those two, of course, were tucked right up behind Chris Forrester as well, so I'm not sure if there was a bit of a chain reaction there of maybe Murphy just having to get out the throttle mid-corner, and Malarin didn't realise quite how much. Perhaps, I don't know, we'll have to have another look. But there is Malarin tucked right under the gearbox of Forrester. Forrester weaving to try and keep the toe. As we see there, Zeph now losing another place to Chalcroft. So he's lost a place to Greening on that lap. He's lost another place to Chalcroft.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Mark's tyres have slightly to go away, or he's just had a couple of bad laps.
Indeed.
He's back up to second.
Yes, Zeph, of course, I believe, is the only full camel on the grid.
He is, yeah. It's for this one. It was there was a. Yeah, I don't think the other Cool Camels were in the stable at the time, so they were off doing other things, either nights or not feeling so well.
Indeed. So we've got such a close race here. We've got Greening sort of checked out a little bit at the front, but then from Zeph in second down to probably Chris White, to be honest, down in 12. They're all nose to tail.
Philip Miles there with a meatball penalty, too much damage.
So not sure what happened initially, as we see Piercy going to the inside on Murphy. Will he get the overtake done? Yes, nice and simple under braking. As we see Malarin now to the inside of Kelly. And Chris Forrester up the inside of Chalcroft, and looks like he's done enough to get that place. Philip Miles has got a 15-second penalty for speeding in the pits. What a disaster. That is a huge shame for him. Just going from bad to worse, really.
Yeah, it is. You've got to be so careful with the pit entry or making sure that you put your pit limiter on before you get there.
Well, that was a little mistake from Mike Murphy. That's allowed Parker to get past. Parker looks to be having a slightly better race this time. Of course, we know Parker has absolutely buckets of pace. He is a very quick driver, is Dom. So yeah, just unfortunate for him to be involved in an incident in the first race. Tell you what, Steve, we've got Zeph, Forrester, Chalcroft, Malarin, Kelly, Piercy. Any one of those could be second. It's just too close to call. And to be honest, Parker, we've got 5 laps to go. He's only 1.5 seconds off the back of this pack. He could easily make it up and join this pack as well. It's just too close to call, as we see now. Chris Forrester going to the outside of Zeph. Will Forrester be able to go all the way around the outside? Zeph is on the inside. He will get the inside line. And under braking. Oh, Zeph's gone wide. Zeph hit that bump wrong, and he looks like he will drop right to the back of this parade of cars. That is a huge shame for him. He's doing so well.
Yeah. But once again, going through that bus stop, there's so many. Well, there's like 2 different lines. There's a really fast line where you take the risk on the jump, and then there's a safer line where you just clip the apexes. And a lot of the faster drivers take that risk, and sometimes it comes off. Most times it comes off, should I say? And then other times you just sent off, and it's unfortunate that you just lose the momentum going through that bus stop.
And that was a replay of the very controversial incident between Malarin and Murphy. And we did see that was confirmation that Malarin did tap the back of Murphy slightly.
Yeah.
So that will definitely be sent to the stewards for review.
Lovely little pit manoeuvre there by Ture, just to send him into the pits, really. Yeah, unfortunate there for Stephen.
And Kelly looks to the inside. He thinks better of it. He wasn't going to take them 3 wide. But Malarin now looking all over the back of Ben Chalcroft. It's very unusual to see Malarin without a podium in at least one of the 2 races. So he will be trying to get past Chalcroft and get onto that podium.
Chris White in the pits with a meatball. That's unfortunate for Chris.
Very unfortunate. He was in the pits with a meatball in the first round as well, I believe.
It's nice to see a lot of teams as well putting a lot of effort in the deliveries. It's great to see different colours and updated liveries coming through for teams and things like that. So, and I have heard a little whisper that one of the drivers that isn't in the competition today, Rich, with he's gone zero alcohol. He's still stuck with a Guinness, but he has got zero alcohol. Yeah, so I'll be interested to see what Rich turns up in the next race.
Definitely. As we see, these three are now 3 wide. Yeah, the Pusey backs out of it
Wow,
and hits the jump. And he did very well to keep that together there. Parker defending heavily from Murphy. We're going to see a replay. What's happened here? This is lap 1, Chris Forrester. What happened there?
That looked like broken suspension.
It looked like it, yeah.
If he did break his suspension on that, I'm extremely surprised. That was a hard hit on that barrier.
That was a hard hit, yeah. So the issue with the that bus stop chicane, there is a bump, as you were saying, Steve. There's a bump in the middle of the track. Oh, sorry, in the middle of the curb. And if you get the line right, you can sort of straddle it so it goes in between the 2 wheels. And if you do that, you can just sort of bump over it and you'll be absolutely fine. But if you get it slightly wrong and you just tap that curb slightly with one of your wheels, then that's it. It spins you off. You have to get the angle just right. As you see, there we go. Kelly did not get that right. And where's Kelly gone?
Kelly's gone.
I think he's in the wall.
It's a meatball for Gavin there, unfortunately. It looked like it was going to be a very strong finish there for Stupid Igori as well, because obviously, Gavin was running strongly there, and then he hit the barrier on the way through. Yeah. So
and that is the issue.
With Dom bringing up the rear as well, it would have been a very strong end to the race for them.
Indeed, and that's what we were saying, Steve, with that. Trying to avoid that bump, you have to get so close to the wall. And there's Don Parker going very, very wide. Turn 1.
It's easily done with the bump. You just take a massive risk and hope that it sticks.
So, in all of that absolute chaos, Malarin hit the front of that pack. He's up to second. And he's checked out.
Yep,
so now we've
Stephen
got
Green's
Pusey and
4 seconds up the road.
Indeed, we've got Pusey and Chalcroft. Pusey just getting it slightly wrong through the second part of the chicane. And that drops him back to the back of this pack. But we've got Chalcroft, Parker, Zeph, Murphy, Pusey. And we've got Alex Murphy as well now joining the battle. But they've run out of time because there is the checkered flag. So we've got Stephen Greening wins the race. Well done, Stephen. That was a brilliant drive. And Malarin back on the podium. And who will get third? That is Parker getting very, very sideways.
Wow.
Not quite enough to get the podium at the end, but Parker in 4th with Chalcroft on the podium. And it looks like Angie's going to make it 2 from 2.
Yep, that's a double win there for Steve Angie. So at the end of the race, we have results following. Fingers crossed they come up now. Oh, I love that view; it's fantastic. So feature race results. We have Stephen Greening taking first with the win, and Tomalarin second. Ben Chalcroft completes the podium. 4th is Don Parker, followed by Mark Zeff, Mike Murphy, Alex Murphy, Eric Pusey, Ryan Suzuki, Chris Forrester, Pavel Kuzmarek, Gavin Kelly, Steve Angie, Stephen Maxwell, Slade Bees, Michael Messenger, Chris White, Ross Luckhurst, Jason Weaver, Philip Miles, and my apologies, I didn't quite catch the last one. So we've got championship standings. We have Alex Murphy taking the front with 67 points, and with Stephen Greening now in the Risky Racing Blue with 65 points. Ben Chalcroft with 55 points in 3rd. Joe Malarin 4th, Eric Pusey, Stephen Maxwell, Mark Zeff, Gavin Kelly, Chris Forrester, Don Parker, Mike Murphy, Ryan Suzuki, Steve Angie, Pavel Kuzmarek, Ross Luckhurst, Jason Weaver, Slade Bees, Gareth Winslade, Michael Messenger, and my apologies on the last two again. Championship standings for Club 1500. We have Steve Angie with 102 points from these two wins. Ross Luckhurst, Slade B, Jason Weaver and Philip Miles with 50 points. There are other drivers to enter the Club 1500, so it'll be interesting to see how they slot in as we go. So championship standings for the teams is Anti-Wizard Society with a massive 110 points from the first two races, followed by Risky Blue and Stupid Aguri. Minardi Sim Sports, followed by Wizards Black Sapphire, Cool Camel Gold with 35 points, McLaren 31, Shelby America 14, Pudge's Pizzas with 10 points, and Extric Racing at the moment with 0.
Lovely, thanks for that, Steve. And I'm just trying to rack my head back and think. I think this might be the first time in USF 2000 history that Malarin hasn't been at the top of the championship. It's very strange to see him so far down the order, but maybe he'll be able to fight back next time at Snetterton. If you'd like to get involved in... Thanks, Steve. If you'd like to get involved in a race with us, you saw our Discord links and links to our socials pop up on the screen. They are also in the description below. So yeah, come join our Discord, say hello, and come race with us. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Steve, for joining me in the commentary booth.
It's been brilliant, thank you, Mark. It's great to be back.
Indeed it is. Until next time. Bye.
Take care, bye.